All right. Good morning. Good morning. Happy Thursday. I hope everyone is doing well. We have Stacy and Gladys with us. I'm so excited. I know that this is a time where a lot of people are working, so it's hard. We were just trying to do different times to accommodate different, the schedules of all our clients. But nonetheless, we are here. Excuse me, we are recording. And so I wanted to just start off with a couple of little announcements that I think would be helpful. Where's my slide? Do it here. All right, so today we're going to talk about just announcements. We're going to go over our magical morning, our enchanted evening. Stacey's going to give it to us with going all in with confidence. And then if we have some time, I'm just going to share a little something of a deep dive that Autumn is challenging us all in the month of June to really dig into. So first things first, in the calendar of events, we have that tomorrow is Faithful Friday. And so what I want to do is right after the Faithful Friday, I want to go ahead and do the book club. Just because since we already have everybody on, I think it would be smart to just go ahead and just say, since we're already here, whoever has to log off, they can log off. But if they don't have to, and they can stay, and it's for VIP members, it'll be good because then we'll get to just kind of like right off the bat, like right after that, just go straight into the book, which I'm super excited about. This morning, Stacy and I were reading the book together, and it was really, really cool to see some of the things that we read. I was like, oh my God, Stacy, this is so you and so me. And it was actually very, very powerful. So that's that for the calendar events for tomorrow. So Faithful Friday and book club, starting Faithful Friday at 8:30 and then right into the book club. Then on Saturday, we have a live workout. And what Stacy and I had talked about was to just start off for a few minutes with a little coffee chat. And that way we don't just have to like jump right into the workout. We can just kind of like share just as friends, how do you like your coffee or whatever it is. And then from there, we can just go into a live workout together on the same Zoom link. So definitely come, I guess, dressed. And I'm sure Stacy's with me. We're going to dance it out. We're just going to have some fun. We're going to do a let's get up workout, which will be no more than 30 minutes. And I think that'll be a good way to kick off our Saturday, our weekend. So that's that. And then on Monday, we have an ambassador call, and it's at 9 p.m. And basically it's for everyone to join. And it's just to hear about how we can purposefully pay this forward. That's what that's about. But it's more than that. It's about leveling up your life. And I know, Stacy really brings it, and it's very, very powerful. And at the end of the day, I always say, if like nothing comes out of it, you end up always leaving the call with something that you do learn, right, Stace?
You definitely come out of those calls empowered, regardless, whatever, it is. Mary from our team, Mary Polanco, if you guys noticed her in our bod group, she started Beachbody less than 2 months ago. Mary also works for the Pentagon. Mary is a mom of 2. Mary has a YouTube channel. She does like designer cards and like kind of like an Etsy thing, but she's got her hands all over the place. And she will be on our ambassador call, and she's going to be sharing her story of how she started literally following me for 2 years, which I didn't know until last night. And then how I came to do her hair and how she came to our group. So I'm excited about that because last night we heard an amazing story, and now we can extend it for part 2.
I love it. I'm super excited about that. All right, so let's jump into our morning routine, our magical mornings. I want to hear, how is this working for you? Because I think that was one of the things that I was the most excited about, because when I start off my day with a magical morning, I'm setting myself up for success. So I just briefly want to hear from you ladies. if that is helping you. And if you want to share what it is, what does your magical morning look like? Because maybe some of the ladies are not on right now and they're like, I still haven't been able to like really create it. I know there's somebody in the group that said, I just have not been able to really create it. And I said, hey, we're here to help. So what does your magical morning look like? Let's spend a few minutes just sharing if we can, and then we're going to go into the next thing. But I'd love to hear from you girls to see if it's helping you and what does that look like so that others can learn.
So I'll start. I do my magical mornings, and Susie's joined me for day 2, which I love. The first thing that I do is I keep my cell phone here in my office. One thing that strikes me very hard to the core is a lot of times we will grab our phone and immediately start scrolling either social media or the news or something, right? And I realized that I was grabbing and scrolling and starting my day with somebody else's life and not mine. And I realized that was a form of disrespect. And it was a form of putting myself in that position of, oh, I don't come first. Subconsciously, I didn't realize I was doing that. And then when someone told me, they're like, you need to scroll your life before others, that was very empowering to me. So my phone stays here in my office. I turn the sound off. I actually turn off my notifications so I don't hear the constant dinging. That's been very helpful, and it stays off all day, like forever, ever and ever and ever. I don't leave notifications on. I don't need them. I'll go check it later. But I wake up in the morning and I grab my deck of cards. I grab the book from our book club. And I put myself outside and I sit on my front porch. And I listen to the birds. I feel the breeze. I take time to breathe. I take time just to kind of be the observer of what's around me. And I just pay attention to me. And I literally take these deck of cards that I have, and I don't have them with me right now, but I read every single card out loud, outside, every single one. So yeah, there are neighbors that see me, and there are neighbors that hear me because they're putting their trash out or they're putting their mail out. And I used to be gun shy, and I noticed in the beginning I would just kind of get quiet. And then I realized, why? Why do I care about? And then I realized, wow, I'm silencing myself because somebody else is here. So I just gave somebody else power. So now, whether or not it's uncomfortable or not, now it's comfortable, but it wasn't at first. I still say them out loud. And my neighbor literally came up to me last week and goes, what cards are you doing? I need those. So in actuality, you really are inspiring somebody, so we cannot close down. And then I just take time to read my book, and I just take time to sit still. And literally, I set a timer on my cell phone for whatever I can do, and I give myself that can opportunity. If it's 5 minutes, it's 5 minutes. If it's 10 minutes, it's 10 minutes. If it's 30 or an hour, I will do it, but I will never not do it, because time is what you make of it. It's not how long or short it is. If I gave myself 30 seconds of 2 cards, that's worth my time because I'm doing the motion. So it counts. And that's kind of where I put my mornings to.
I absolutely love it. Gladys, actually, before I move on to Gladys, Stacy, how did you find those cards? Because I love your morning routine. It sounds very familiar to mine. How did you find those cards? Those cards are really, really good.
Yeah, I just went on an Amazon search. I typed in inspirational deck of cards and I found it, and it was InSpark, INSPARKE, InSpark. And it's a deck of cards. I think it was like $20. And there's a front and a back. It's a whole deck of cards. And I read them out loud. I also bring them into my purse because there are going to be times in the day where my feathers will be ruffled. I might be frustrated. And I have taken my cards literally into a bathroom to have a bathroom break. And I read a couple of cards. I have no shame in that because I am working on my mindset. And at the end of the day, it is my joy. And I will not walk around anymore worried about the people around me. you know?
Yeah, love it, love it,
Yeah.
love it. Okay, Gladys, do you mind sharing what your magical morning looks like so we kind of have an idea and others learn?
Sure. So the first thing that I do, I start the night before kind of, because I fill up my water and I put it right next to my bed. So when I wake up, I have, I'm able to drink as much water as possible. And while I'm drinking my water, I just sit on the end of my bed and I practice gratitude. And the reason that I do that is the same reason Stacy said, that, you wake up and you grab your phone, that's the first thing. So I stopped myself from doing that as well. And that's what I do. I practice gratitude. I leave my phone there on my nightstand. I have a little area in my house that has like crystals, and it's like a meditation area for me. So then I go there and I practice some more gratitude. I say my affirmations. I continue to drink water. And then from there, I come down, I make coffee, and then I sit outside with my coffee. And I, just sometimes meditate. I also take in the nature, and I have my pool has like a water where it sounds like water running on a thing. So that is also really good for me.
I love that.
Yeah, so I do that, and then I go on with my day.
All right, perfect. So, they all sound very familiar. I'll go ahead and share mine just really briefly. What I did was I created this little visual because that way it helps me to just remember like all the things that I love to do. So once I wake up, the first thing I do is I drink my water and then I go straight to the word. I go, I do my prayer, I do my Bible, and I do a devotional. And then I have a book where it's gratitude and affirmations together. It's the one from Rachel Hollis, where she makes you write down like the first 5 lines is all about gratitude. And then the last 10 lines is all your affirmations. So I do that. And then after that, I read a book, personal development, which right now I'm reading Believe It, which is the one from the book club. And then after that, I do a meditation with visualization. So what I've been doing is, which I absolutely love, is that I use the I Am cards from Beachbody. This is from the program Bar Blend. And what I love about this is that this literally has like a meditative, they're each 4 minutes long. How do I get up here for a second? Let me stop sharing for a second. They each have every single, card. They have its own meditation from Elise Jones, the creator of Bar Blend. And what she did was she just does like a 4-minute little meditation where the words that she's speaking into you are all aligned with the card. So for example, what I do is I just literally take them out and I'll shuffle them. And then let me see if I could go here for a second. I'll shuffle them. And then whatever it is that I take out, I'll pick one. And if it says, I am happy, you see how it says, I am happy? I go here, let me share my screen. Just in case if you girls don't know that this is available to you, because this is part of my magical morning, which I absolutely love. You go into the programs and you go all the way to where it's relaxation and meditation, I think it's called. And yeah, here, relaxation and meditation. And when you go in there, what you do is you go, where are the videos, meditations? So here you have a program that's called Unstressed, which also has meditation. And I've done the whole 21-day program, but for my magical morning, since I already did that, you go to I Am Happy, or whatever card it is that you chose. And literally what you do is you go to, where is it? I am happy. You click on the card, here it is, and it's 4 minutes long. And that is how I do my meditation and visualization. Because for me, it's really important to create my life by visualizing what it is that I want. So as Elise is speaking beautiful words of the card, at the same time, I love how I'm able to just completely like, engulf myself into just that, that vision that I want to create for my life. And so it's combined. So that's, one of the things that I absolutely do every single morning. And then the last thing I do is I go over my to-do list. I have a planner, a big gigantic planner. I go over that, make sure that, I am on schedule, and then that's it. That's about it. So that is what I have for you regarding my magical morning. I posted this little image in the group in case if you want to borrow it. That way you can just kind of check it off and show others what you're doing. You can inspire others to do this too. So today what I wanted to do was create an enchanted evening. And I just came up with a couple of things that I know work for me. And one of the reasons why I wanted to talk about this is because I really need to go to bed earlier. I tell Stacy that every day. Stacy, I need to go to bed earlier. I've been going to bed at midnight, at 1, and I know that that is not good because I want to be up by 5:30 every morning. I've been waking up at 6, 6:30, sometimes even 7, which is fine because I know we're in the summer, but I do, as much as I do love to sleep in, I also do want to feel so productive. And that quiet time for me, when I get up and it's still dark, and I just sit in my office and it's that me time before my husband gets up or my kids get up, I have found that it is beautiful. Whereas before I used to like fear it because I was like, hell no, I need to sleep. But now it's just, there's something about that peace. So I would love for you girls to share and maybe put it in the chat. What does your enchanted evening look like? Or if you don't have one, let's create it together. Because maybe you can share some ideas with me where I can just kind of level up mine. I just did basic stuff. So for me, obviously I want to have a bedtime. That's reasonable. I'd love to drink like a sleepy time tea, to add my collagen, something at night where I could just kind of wind down. I do have a nighttime devotional. It's basically like nighttime prayers. And then our top coach in Beachbody, Moira Kusaba, I love the way she talks about at night. She calls it the book of proof. And she goes over like in her mind, her day. And she says like, wow, these things were proof that what I prayed for came true. So that gratitude, I left the word gratitude. It's kind of almost like, let's prove to ourselves that good things did happen throughout the day. Maybe I danced, maybe I laughed, maybe I heard a bird sing. And those are things that we could just kind of like write down. So I'd love to start doing that more often. And then obviously I love to just look at my schedule, plan on my day for the next day. So I kind of know what I need to do. And then for 9 weeks, Autumn Calabrese created a nighttime routine, no more than, I would say, 5 minutes, some of them maybe 7, 8 minutes at most. It's a nighttime stretch. Again, it's all on Beachbody on demand. You go into the programs. And when you go into the programs, in case if you girls don't know, you have access to all of this, which I absolutely loved. I was doing this for the whole 9 weeks, and then I kind of like just got off of it because when I finished, I was like, oh yeah, I'm done. And I should have kept up with the habit, which I'm going back. That's what I love, that I know that I'm aware that I got to get back to it. So you go on controlled stretch and look at all of the stretches. Every single one is different. How many weeks was it, Stacy? It was 3 weeks, more than that. It was 9 weeks. She had one for every day, right?
She had one for every single day.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I loved how she wore these adorable little PJs and these little nighttime pajamas. And Stacy and I were like, oh my God, did you see how cute? And Stacy came up with these super cute pajamas. And I'm like, where did you get it? Where's that tie-dye from? She's like, Target, girl. And it was just another layer of accountability, another layer of being together. Sometimes we would do it together and I would light my candle and I would make my room really dark. And it was beautiful because I was able to really just wind down. Let me go back here. And that really helped me just kind of like say, this is something that I really just is helping me just have better quality of sleep. And she talks about it. And I love the positivity that she gave us. She talked about what did we accomplish? What are we looking for tomorrow? Let's get rid of negativity. And as we would stretch, it was just very powerful. So I'm going back to that. And then the last 2 things, I'm going to obviously do my skincare routine, which I'm really good about. I did get lashes like Stacy, so I have to be very careful in cleaning them. So I definitely want to do the whole skincare routine. And then the last thing is I'm going to prepare my clothes every night, my workout clothes. That way, if I leave it out, In the morning, it's just get up, wash my face, brush my teeth, and I throw on my clothes, and I don't have to be shuffling through the doors in the morning when everybody's sleeping. So that is what my enchanted evening is going to look like. But I'd love for you girls to share a couple of things that maybe are not here that you do or that you want to do. And that way I'll write it in the chat and we could kind of just brainstorm. What does yours look like? What do you want it to look like?
I mean, for me, it's pretty much for me, it's pretty much the same thing. You know, it's just washing my face and putting my phone away, but really being, I think if I had to pick one solid thing, it would be really like shutting everything down by like 10:30. Like I have to be real. It's not going to be 10. I know it's not going to be 9. Like I know me, but like 10:30 has to be realistic. Like it's done. Whatever I didn't get done, it's not a big deal. Bucket, it'll be tomorrow, you know, and just be done. So time, I think, is very important because you have to slow your mind down. And then that's when I can do more things, you know, take time to wash my face, take time to lay out my clothes. I like to get the laundry done. Like I'm very good about laundry. So things that bring me peace, bring order to me and my life. And then I'm a happier person. So really time is my big thing. Everything else, it's very peaceful, but like maybe reading my cards again before I go to bed. A meditation, like you said, like getting on and being intentional about 21 days with the meditation, the unstress. Those are really, and they're short, so they're doable and they don't have to be long and drawn out. And that's the other thing too, I think as women, we think it has to be so lengthy, but it really doesn't.
Yeah. What about you, Gladys? What does your enchanted evening look like, or what do you want it to look like? Can you share with us so we can kind of learn and just brainstorm ideas?
I'm sure. Yeah. I at night when it's I go to sleep late as well. It's a problem that is happening here in my house. Me and my husband. It's just, you know, something that we have to work on. Yes, night owls. But when we decide, yeah, it's time to go to sleep, obviously I wash my face, you know, I put on my moisturizer, I take a few minutes and I do a facial massage before, you know, with the moisturizer. So that's really important to me. And then I pray before bed and then I go to sleep.
So it
Easy.
sounds like if our
Simple.
enchanted evenings are pretty similar. They're pretty
Yeah.
similar. I'm gonna drop that little image in the bot group as well, so that if you girls want to use it or just get some ideas, especially for those that are not on, and that way they can just kind of look at it and be like, yeah, you know, maybe that's something I can do. I mean, I thought mine is pretty detailed and it's something I love structure and I love to be able to say, I follow this, it makes me better. So hopefully my enchanted evening little graphic will help you all just kind of stay the course. That's the goal, is to
Also too, if everybody is on Instagram, we can share that graphic to each other and really hold ourselves accountable beyond and outside the group. So if we can save them and we can get everybody's IGs.
I said that in the group and nobody really did anything. I said, guys, let's tag each other, and nobody really responded on that.
Yeah, and so maybe just like remind people again, that would just be super fun. And just one more thing, because I will tell you that when I get tagged in a workout, especially, not only do I tag back, but it makes me work out.
Yeah.
And then I know that I'm inspiring somebody to do something very good in their life with a simple act and type their name in. So
Yeah.
it's so easy and so simple to inspire another person. But strangely enough, by inspiring somebody else, like literally when I Susie, I don't think there's a day that I literally talk to her every day.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, good morning, are you ready? And she's like, I'm grabbing my coffee. It's
Yeah.
like as if I'm with her. And I'm like,
Yes,
okay.
accountability.
Grandma.
It's accountability. I love it. I love it.
Yeah, so I think it's really cool, you know.
And the last thing I want to just share, and then we're going to move on to the next thing that I want Stacey to talk about, is in your planner, there's a fire up your morning routine. So if my morning routine or Stacey's or Gladys's doesn't look like, if it's for you, these are more ideas as well. And one of the things that I loved about this one that we added, and I forgot to put in the graphic, is make your bed. There's
Oh my God.
There's a book called Make Your Bed.
Yeah.
And it's a short book. I read it. I gave it to my son. There's also a beautiful video on YouTube called Make Your Bed. I think he was like, a captain or something that gave a speech at a college graduation, and he talks about how making your bed will automatically make you feel accomplished. So that is one of the things that I absolutely love that's in the planner. And then everything else is pretty much kind of like what we talk about. And then at the end, it is eat your breakfast, which obviously that's not in my graphic, but definitely, just reminders that regardless if you're doing intermittent fasting or not, just then obviously when you're done and you're ready, you eat your meal, you fuel your body. All right, so next up, I would love for Stacy to share all about going all in and confidence. Stace, what
Okay.
can you offer these ladies about this? Because I know
Yes.
you're going through it right now.
So, okay, for me, there's a lot of moving pieces in the month of June. We honor and we have to call light to my father's anniversary, which is Saturday. 19 years ago, he ended his life. But here I am 19 years later, and his action really gave me life. That might be really weird for people to hear that and understand that, but that's okay. It's not for people to understand. It's for people to see that this is a story, that how I'm building myself back up from literally somebody. I remember my therapist told me once, you died when he died. And I did not understand that until I realized I called it shattering myself into pieces. It's essentially the same thing. So here we are this week. My son graduates elementary school yesterday. We honor my dad on the 19th, and then we have Father's Day on Sunday. On top of that, we are getting out of our house. We have to put all of our stuff into storage, and we have to be out of this house and into my mother's house. My goal is by the 4th of July, but we have by July 13th. Yeah, that's another story. So, and there's not a lot on the market right now. So, I could sit here and not show up to my challenge group. I could sit here and not drink my water. I could sit here and say, girl, I would love to. It's just not a good time. But then when people say that, and this is I'm a truth bomber, you have made yourself again a negotiable item, and you made it about diet. Because what other reason do you have to let go? If anything, I'm like, oh my God, I need this even more. I need my magical morning. I need a program to follow. I need my evening routine. Life is the hurricane in general, right? Just life. But do you ever notice that when people go into the eye of the hurricane to collect data, it's the safest and most calmest place? They observe. That's how we get studies, right? That is our group. Life, bod. Does that make sense? Life, bod. Because if you don't go into the eye of your life, you can't collect your data. You can't see what's going on. And you can't make the next thing that's going to come your way be okay. So this is a non-negotiable for me. And what I want people to see is try to invite your next program, or even the one you have right now, if you're going to end it or you're in the middle of it, and ask yourself, why am I doing this program? Because, and I say this lightly, I really don't care if it's for weight loss for you, because that is so irrelevant. It's amazing, but it's irrelevant. Honestly, it is, because if you go 5 layers deeper, I was sitting here and I said, why am I so gravitated to Bar Blend? Why? Like, I don't get it. And then I sat there in my magical mornings, sitting with the birds and the breeze, and I go, shit, I got it. And it was because I'm also a hairdresser. So I need a lot of core strength from standing all day long, right? But I need a lot of core strength in my life right now. I also have family drama going on, okay? I have in-law drama. So let me just put that out there, okay? My life is not a lollipop, but I use my stuff to do more in here. It has to happen, right? So I was like, I need more core and balance in my life right now more than ever. Because if I don't have core strength and I don't have balance, all these things that I just whispered to you, how in the freak am I going to be able to do them? So I realize that these programs, if you allow yourself, and I think it just comes from consistency, I think it comes from retention, trusting the products over time, trusting the process, and letting all the rest go. Because here I am 6 years later, right? You can take yourself 5 layers deeper. You know, in the beginning, all I craved was consistency. I didn't crave 30-pound weight loss, although that was in a floating thought, but I knew it would come with time. And it came after 9 rounds of my DVD 21-day fix on repeat, because we didn't have on demand. Right? So just know the first thing that I don't want to say should, I hate those words. I encourage you to think about is crave consistency. Because if you crave consistency and you build the discipline in that, no matter what, because you'll see me in my stories, I'll be on. If I didn't get my workout on, Susie knows, damn, it is midnight or 11:45 and she's pressing play. Because I'm not pressing play for weight loss. I'm not pressing play for a muscle strength. I'm pressing play because I must wake up with my self-love and my pride. So those nighttime workouts have nothing to do with anything other than I gotta wake up with pride. I gotta wake up with intention. I gotta wake up and be fierce. So you gotta take your programs deeper. And it's amazing when you do that, because then your moves become different. The lift becomes different. The gaze and the reflection of the mirror or the window becomes different. But if you want that, the only thing that I know to share with you today is crave consistency first, and crave posting that sweaty selfie in our bod group, and crave getting on a team call, and crave being just like the coach that brought you in here, but being your own story and your own voice. But we all do the same vital behaviors, but do it your own way, because that's all I know. And that's all that works. And it's simple. So crave consistency, but take your program right now and finish your program and say, what is it that it's giving me? What is it that it's gifting me? But make it nothing to do with a physical thing. Because core and strength and balance in life is everything. And that's what I have for you.
I love it, Stacey. It's true. It's so deep. It's not just
Yes.
about the workout. It is
No.
way deeper than that. It just literally, it makes us who we are meant to become. All right. Last thing that I want to talk about is a deep dive into Autumn's June challenge. So again, I'm going to share my screen just to show you how you,
Before
yeah.
you, can I say something?
yes.
Okay. I just wanted to say also that I'm doing bar blend. And another thing that I love about that program is also the flexibility and the range of motion. And not only, like you said, physically, but also your mentally, your soul. You really have to be open and flexible and pliable, because life isn't always going to go the way you plan it. So that also helps me on this process.
Yeah. And oh my God, you just made me think of that too. Like I didn't think of the word flexible. And with everything going on in my life right now, you just hit like that right there for me. Like I have to be flexible right now because there's no other way. That is like such a perfect word. I love that you said that, because that's a good reminder for me. And I love that you're doing bar blend too. That's awesome. And I think I'll probably have to do it on repeat, but oh my God, yes.
Yeah, that's great. That's
Yeah.
amazing. And I love how she's saying, the word flexible. That might be another great word that we could focus on, because this week the word is focus. We should be staying very focused. And then maybe next week we could come up with another word. And I love that flexible word.
Oh, I
right.
love that.
Yeah, I love that, because we need to be flexible. All right. So thanks, Gladys, for sharing that. That is so amazing. I love the way she says that she was socially awkward. And here she is, a top dog, giving us advice. I freaking love it. It just goes to show you how this just makes us so the leaders of our lives. I really, really do love it. All right. So if you pay the monthly nutrition service. Not everybody pays for that. And I'll be honest, I don't encourage my clients to get that from the beginning. I kind of want them to know that they have access to so many things before they get overwhelmed with other stuff. But if you pay the monthly nutrition, it's called the monthly fix. And basically, when you go to the nutrition center, you have a monthly membership that you can do with Ilana Molstein, which is our nutritionist and dietitian. She gives you a monthly support that you have full access to her. And then we also have one as an option with Autumn Calabrese. It's called the monthly fix. And when you go into the monthly fix, and this is a $20 fee every month. Every month she gives you a deep dive, okay? And yesterday, I heard this great little video. It's 11 minutes long. It's about Autumn's confessions, how she loves cookies. And she's like, listen, if I were to have a bag of Oreo cookies here, I would eat probably the whole thing or very close to it. So she talks about how she's just like us, that she does have cravings, that she does love things that are not great for us. But I love the way then she goes so deep into, she challenges us about how to learn how to really be mindful about portion control, because that's the nutrition program that she follows, that she created. So she gives us 5 tips on how to better our mindset with food. And then she goes on to give us a chip challenge, and she goes on to a 5-minute video of alcohol. And I'm going to share it briefly, and then we'll end the call with that. So number 1 is don't buy what you can't resist. Meaning, if you love cookies, don't buy them. Okay? Because then obviously if they're there, it's going to be harder. Number 2, don't shop hungry or without a plan. It's true. When I go to Publix and I'm starving, I'm like, let me grab this, let me grab that. And then it becomes so much more expensive. So she's like, don't go hungry and go with your list. If you know that your red containers are chicken, ground turkey, and fish for the week, it doesn't mean you have to buy every single protein on the red list. It's, just going with a plan. What am I going to eat this week? And then that's what I'm going to buy. Number 3, don't eat, I love this, from a box, a can, a bag, a carton, or a Tupperware. Because if you're eating from a box, a can, a bag, a carton, or a Tupperware, you're probably not at all measuring out your stuff, because you're eating from the box, the carton, the can, the Tupperware. And it's true. She's like, that is not practicing portion control. You need to get that food and put it in your container. Number 4, you change the way you think about food. So think about 7 days in the past, what you did, and 7 days ahead. And that way, you know how much you really need to hone in on being mindful with nutrition. She was just sharing how when she came here to Miami, like about 2 weeks ago, she goes, I indulged in a couple more drinks than what I typically do. Then I came home and I thought about the 7 days ahead. My whole entire family was coming. And I knew I was probably going to indulge a little bit more with dessert. So those 7 days in between, she's like, I really, really toned it down. And that is helpful, because we know if we're going to have a gajillion events in like the next weekend that's coming, make sure that you're really, really on point. So think about where you've been and where you're going. And that way you can kind of stay on track a little bit more. And then number 5, she did talk about going to bed early. We just talked about this with her Enchanted Evening. She goes, a lot of times at night, what happens is that we either get bored and we start eating things out of boredom, or we sit down and we're watching Netflix and we kind of want to munch on something crunchy, or we want to have that piece of chocolate. She's like, win the day, go to bed early. And I thought those tips were amazing, because I was like, yes, I can apply every single one and implement them into my life. And then the last thing was the challenge, which here she calls it the chip challenge. And she tells you, listen, if you want to have chips, what is allowed, which is a yellow container, is 6 chips. She goes, I know you're probably going to think, well, 6 chips, who cares? 6 chips is nothing. And she's like, no, train your mind that the taste is going to be the same, whether you're eating 6 chips or 26. The goal is to say, I'm grateful. At least I had chips. She goes, there's other diets that you have to eliminate a bunch of foods, and that is deprivation. Here, she's like, I'm giving you the opportunity to have the chips. You just have to learn portion control. So the chip challenge is to have 6 and be done, or have 1 cookie, which is a yellow, or 2 at most, and you're done, not have an entire bag. And then she goes on to say about the alcohol, that if you know you're gonna have alcohol, 5 ounces of wine is 1 yellow. So if you wanna have 2 glasses of wine, then it's, 10 ounces, and then those are 2 yellows. So she's like, just know your alcohol. And then she goes on to talk about how the most, clean alcohol you can have is to do a mocktail. And she shares her favorite. Her favorite is flavored soda water with a splash of grapefruit. She goes, it's a splash, and then I add a little lime wedge on top. So you could just do soda water with a splash of grapefruit or whatever. And then, you add a little lemon or lime, and you're good. And you could have a mocktail. And she even talks about it, that if you are going to have a cocktail, then the next one should be a mocktail. Or if not, then the next one should be a good 8 ounces of water before you move on to your next cocktail. So she just says, really understand it, because when you look at the amount of sugar in alcohol, it's crazy. Like, we're talking about 20 grams in, I think she said it was like, I don't remember if it was rum or if it was, gin. I think it was gin, something like that. She's like, it's crazy the amount of sugar that you are literally intaking just to be like, cheers, So that's what I have for you today, which I think is always super, helpful, because the better we get at, our craft, the more we master our craft, our journey, our nutrition, the more we're going to be in control. So that's what I have for you today. Stacey, you want to close us out?
Yeah, I just want to say to everybody that, the big thing is, like I said, I think the big thing on my heart is just crave the consistency and being consistent. Like, don't overcomplicate it, lean into it, right? I have to be very honest with you. I never, ever, ever since day one thought about quitting, skipping. I can honestly say that since my daughter was 3 months old, I have never once said, I don't feel like working out today. And that was weird, very weird for me. And just crave the consistency and what you will become from this. Know that if you have this little thing, I call them tingle tugs, and you love being here and you keep coming back to it, there might be more for you than what you think you really came in here for, right? I know for a fact that I had no idea that in 2015, I would meet Susie 2 years ago on a pool deck. I would never have known in 2015 that this past March, I literally sat in the pool for 45 minutes and became friends with Autumn Calabrese herself, who literally supports my posts on Instagram, who literally talks to me and DMs me, which is weird and so cool. But you know what it showed me the day we were there with her? And I was like, I think I'm your friend. But she's like, yes. And I was like, oh my God. She was not intimidating. She was not a celebrity. She was not Autumn. She was Autumn. Beachbody genuinely is a family. Best thing we have ever done, ladies. So keep visions alive. I recommend a vision board. I recommend a why statement. If you have not written it, please, we will help you, but you've got to know it, because if you know that, you will do everything and then some. And I want to encourage Gladys. She's probably going to be like, oh God, but your routine and being so fresh in the group is super inspiring to me. And if you didn't say flexible, that's really going to help me when I move into my mom's house. So thank you for that. And I'm wondering if you could do a less than 5-minute video and record it, or go live if you want to on our bod group. But if you wouldn't mind sharing that, I think because we welcomed a lot of newbies. I really feel like that's empowering, and you served me. So if you could branch that off and do a little bit more, here's the gift in that for you first. The gift for you first is that you lock it in even more. You secure it into your knowing, but then you gift your knowing that you gave to yourself first onto somebody in our bod group. So I selfishly say gift it to yourself first, because that's who comes first, and you will breathe that into our group because you breathed it into us today. So I don't know if you can or if you want to, but I'm going to say if you could, that would be awesome, because I will go back and watch that myself too.
I love it. Absolutely. We're here to encourage everyone to
Yeah.
go live or do a video and share what's on their heart, whether it's the magical morning routine or it's a word of choice or a recipe. We always encourage that because that does help all of us, every single one of us. So I love it, Stace. Thanks for that.
Yeah.
All right, ladies. So if there's no questions, I don't know if anybody has any questions. If you have
No.
anything to add, are we
Sharona,
good?
I hope you're okay with your house and everything, Sharona.
Yes,
Are you
Sharona,
okay
you had
from
a flood, so I
yesterday?
hope you're okay.
No, I'm gonna get a storage shed, and I'm going to start throwing my stuff in storage. And I'm gonna get rid of this house because it's like the fourth or fifth flood down there. I can't do it anymore. So,
Okay. But you're okay?
You're
but I
okay.
made the call.
Okay, good.
You're okay.
So,
All right, well, we love you. We're
Yes.
here
love
for you.
Yep.
Amazing.
No, we're
Absolutely.
Sharona
we're
owns
good.
businesses and does it all. She's
So-
amazing.
Awesome.
All
right,
right, babe, well, we
ladies,
love
living
so
the
you.
dream, you know.
That's a wrap. I hope you guys have a great day. I'll see you all tomorrow for Faithful Friday. If you can make it 8:30, let us know if you need anything. We're always here to serve. Love you, girls. Thanks for joining us.
Bye,
Bye.
guys. See ya.
Bye.